Welcome back to Retro MX Reviews. Sorry it's been so long, but I think we're going to make up for some lost time here with a really cool bike today. This is a 1974 Yamaha MX 125. That was kind of the sister bike to the YZ in that year. And I'm going to go do some laps on it today and just kind of get an impression. The oldest race bike I've ridden is really about a 76. So I'm interested to see kind of just how it compares to how I remember that 76 a few years ago. This bike is really cool because that's when the Yamaha was introducing the YZs, but this was kind of the base model, and so it was heavier, a different frame material, 2 less horsepower, and it had a wider ratio gearbox. I found an article online, it was a review comparing these two, and Dirt Bike Magazine actually liked the MX better because they felt like the YZ was too hard to ride and you had to shift too much. Even though it had 2 horsepower difference, they still liked this one better. So I'm really interested to go out and do some laps and see what we think. We'll do a quick walk around and see what this one's had done to it. All right, thanks to my friend Mike Edwards for letting me ride this bike. He's just got it. Just started really his first day on it, so awesome. He's willing to let me come out and do some laps. This one has an aftermarket pipe, and I was told it's an aftermarket head too. I think they said it's a Webco. I don't really know. And the MX, compared to the YZ, also had oil injection. So I think this one looks like maybe it's been disabled. The YZs had aluminum rims and more magnesium, whereas the MX stuck with the steel. This one's got aftermarket shocks on it. It's a really cool build. I love looking at these old bikes. They're just so different. YZ had a smaller, more compact tank on it. I'm sorry, I don't really have all the info of everything on a 1974 YZ. I do know that it said the YZ had 18 horsepower and this has 16. So compare that to a modern 125 and, in the high 30s. And then those are different forks too. So there's the walk around. Now let's go out and see what this bike feels like on the track. was it. Few laps on the old MX, and let me tell you, that is, boy, that's quite an experience. All my lazy habits of wanting to sit down, that bike, it doesn't like that. You forget the rider cockpit area of even a more modern bike by a few years. I was on that tank, first turn I went into, I was on that tank and it hurt. The motor though is really fun. And I didn't feel like the motor, like even though it technically doesn't have that much horsepower, the motor was a lot of fun to ride. It had a nice punchy mid-range, and I didn't want to ring it out too much because he just rebuilt it. But you know, when I did get in the top end, nice pull. Thought it revved out good. I thought it felt really strong. So that part was really cool. These old bikes have tiny foot pegs, and that didn't actually. The way I was riding the bike, I didn't notice it that much. If I was going for jumps on it, maybe it'd be a little different. I thought the forks felt okay. I didn't really notice anything good or bad. This track isn't terribly rough today, so not really a issue. And for me, probably the weakest link, this is the back end. It just doesn't have very much travel. So and that's just the way they were. I mean, I guess that's probably 4 inches of travel. And there's no give to it. Like it feels like there's hardly any give at all. So I was very shy on even attempting to do some of the little jumps. I think you know, if I spent time on a bike like that, I could adapt my riding style to be a little more just trying to be, you know, light on that back end and not hammer it so much. But all in all, you know, and like any vintage bike, it turns great. I mean, even though you're not sitting so far forward, they just turn great. So that part was fun. So all in all, I'm definitely a newer bike kind of guy, but I really appreciate getting a chance to ride this and just feel a little bit further back into the history of the sport and kind of, you know, just a better appreciation of where we came from. So when you watch these videos from the 70s of these old guys and you think they're slow, or you go to a vintage race and think they're slow, let me tell you what, get on one of those old bikes and try to do it, and it's a different story. So thanks for watching, and hope we'll be having some more of these soon.